It's all over the news right now. The West Coast under attack by an impossible enemy, destructive wildfires. This is wildfire season, but we are learning that this year might be one of the worst. So I asked Hilary Franz, Washington's Commissioner of Public Lands, to join us for a look at what's really going on out there. Thank you for taking the time, Hilary. I know I've seen how busy you are. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So what is the situation now? How does this fire season compare or relate to others?
So we are in extreme fire danger. We've been in extreme fire danger for a long time this year already. We have had over 900 fires to date. This is almost double the 10-year average. We've had over 140,000 acres burn, which is getting close to the total amount of acres that burned in all of 2019.
Wow.
We are seeing hot, dry conditions. We have a drought in a majority of the state. We don't see any precipitation on the horizon. And frankly, I think this is going to be the worst wildfire season we've had, at least in the last 10 years, and maybe in Washington State's history.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So while you were visiting the Red Apple Fire, you announced that all DNR managed lands east of the Cascades are going to be temporarily closed to the public starting Friday. Have you ever done this before? Is this unprecedented?
This is unprecedented, at least in my 5 years, with the exception that we closed them last year in the midst of COVID, obviously trying to help curtail the spread of COVID and in that global deadly pandemic that was harming our public and our first responders. The fact is right now, it's really important for people to realize that Washington State is in extreme danger, extreme crisis, unprecedented number of fires, unprecedented hot, dry conditions. We're only in the middle of July. The kind of conditions we're seeing, I have firefighters who've been fighting fires for 35 years in Washington State, and they don't see these kind of conditions until the end of August. Our firefighters are already exhausted, working 16-hour days, day after day, week after week. We're finding that we have limited resources already, and we're not the only state to be experiencing this. When we look at the Western United States, majority of states are in a similar wildfire crisis, which means less resources for every single state, harder for us to keep our public safe and our firefighters safe. So we've had to take unprecedented action because of unprecedented conditions.
It's really good to know. You know, in Western Washington, we don't actually really see the effects of these massive wildfires. But I know that you do. I know that you travel around the state. How do these fires affect the surrounding communities, not just in loss of property, but to the spirit of the area?
Yesterday, I was at the Red Apple Fire, like you pointed out, and if anybody saw the backdrop on that press conference, you'll see that the fire literally burned right up to the backyard of homes, and that neighborhood, that community was completely surrounded by fire. Our firefighters were fighting those fires through the night to be able to just protect the homes and protect the families. And the sad part is we have had over 11 fires just in the last few days similar to that, where we're evacuating it. Type 3, Type 2, Type 1 evacuations, all threatening these communities, all threatening their homes, and frankly, threatening lives, especially our firefighter lives as they get more and more tired, more and more exhausted.
Wow. So in May, Governor Inslee signed into law House Bill 1168, which is for wildfire funding. Does this summer's events show why this is so important?
Absolutely. I have been saying for a very, very long time that Washington State has to get more reliant on itself in fighting these catastrophic fires. And it has to stop being in a reaction phase and get proactive at making every home in a wildfire risk area more resilient to fire. Be more proactive in making the landscape, our forests, more resilient to fire, and having the air resources on initial attack that are so essential at getting on those fires quickly, containing and letting the hand crews come in, our firefighters do the groundwork that they do, and we've needed more firefighters. This year, we are already experiencing, we do not have enough incident management teams. We do not have enough firefighters. We don't have necessarily enough air resources to get us through the rest of this year, given the number of fires we're already seeing. And it is putting enormous amount of strain on our communities and our first responders. And the biggest risk we have is saving lives.
Yeah, and that funding, will it come into effect next year, or will it help us at all this year?
So the great news, I have to just hats off to the legislature. They stepped up to this challenge, and they stepped up unanimously. East, West, Washington, legislators from around the state all said this is absolutely essential. We invest in wildfire response, forest restoration, and community resilience. The unfortunate side is that these resources don't become available until after July. And it takes us time to train those 100 firefighters, hire them and train them. It takes us time to be able to go out and purchase the air resources. So much of those resources we're not going to see until the 2022 fires.
My goodness, Hilary, thank you so much for taking the time again. I know you're super busy, so we'll let you go, but hopefully we'll like to chat with you again, maybe late August, early September.
Amity, if I could say one thing that's absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Too often, I think our public thinks that these catastrophic fires that keep threatening our skies every summer and threatening our communities is something they're hopeless or they're helpless in being able to respond to. But the fact is 90% of our fires are caused by humans. 90%. Every single one of us has ability to be part of this firefighting team, joining our local firefighters, our state firefighters, our federal firefighters, and being part of the solution in preventing the fire in the first place. And in doing that, just like we battled COVID, every one of us gets to be the champion, the hero that saves lives. And more than ever before, that's what we need.
Absolutely. So obey that campfire ban out there. Thank you so much, Hilary.